Hey Joanna, started to pop on for half an hour or so this morning, well this afternoon now, before I start getting some gardening jobs done. I'm just going to sit here and get my art yarn spun for listing for this week. How you doing, sweetie? Well, the sun's burnt away the clouds today. It was supposed to be a bit cloudy, but it's definitely burnt them away. So we've just nipped down to the garden centre to go and grab some more herbs for my herb bedding box, which Phil built me the other day. It's over in that corner. And I'm just spinning off Arabian Nights art back. I listed one on the shop yesterday, but this one's they're doing for an art yarn, and then I've saved one half of it for taking over to the Mosher Beads shop over in Cockermouth. Probably next weekend I'll stock up a little bit because I've sold some bits over there, I think. So yeah, quiet day. Got some bedding boxes built up for in the yard. Got a load of new listings put on the shop Thursday and Friday, so I just need to do this today and then get dyeing tomorrow and planning my next listings for Monday, Tuesday for the week coming ahead. I'm not sure what I'm going to go with. Going to sit here quietly and spin away, see if anyone pops up. And I'll use it all probably away for the weekend with the sun being out, or down the beach. Take the kids out for a nice long walk, tire them out. Iona, stop it. Fucking dog. Oh, there we go. Smack her head off my spinning wheel. Just lie down and be a good girl. Go lie down. Hiya, Hilly. Right, back preparation video, Hilly. I attempted to do it the other day and my phone decided what to play on. So I have got a couple of bats put to one side, love, and I will do a video on a way to bat prepare with a gradient bat. So I will get that sorted and filmed Monday, I'm hoping. If not tomorrow, depends on what I've got to do. I've got stuff to get dyed up and everything. I know it is absolutely gorgeous today. We're supposed to be cloudy today, but the sun's burnt it all away, so we've just been down the garden centre. So yeah, bat preparation video, I shall get that sorted out and up on YouTube hopefully sometime on Monday. I've just not had a chance. I've been trying to get my stock built up after last weekend's Yorkshire Yarn Fest, so I've had to do get at least 6 new things on my website plus my locks as well. So I haven't had a second to do that since the debacle with my phone. So I shall get that sorted out over the next coming days, and it will be on the YouTube channel. I've not posted anything up there this week. I've just not had a chance. I just wanted days off to myself. So yeah, that's what I will do next week. So I haven't forgotten. I will do it. There we go. I'm just spinning off this. It's from Arabian Nights, the one that I put on the website yesterday. So it's not just a solid coloured all the way through, it's got hints of yellows and cloudy greys in there as well, bit of natural, and then rubies into rose and hints of gold in there. I'm just going to spin this off for the shop. Yeah, it is. It's really, really pretty. It's got sari silk in there. There's a new one called Wildflower, so it's golds and stuff like that in there. And then I've got some really beautiful dusky rose mulberry silk bits in this as well. So I was going to do it as a core spun, but I thought, well, all the colours that are in there, it'd just be lost. So I thought, oh, I might as well just do it as an art yarn, and then I can list it on the shop this week. But it's really pretty. So what are you doing today, Hilly? Excuse the clunking of my, it's not really, it is my spinning wheel, but it's my backyard is uneven, so no matter which way I place my feet I can't get to balance the treadles properly. So have you started on that glamorous peacock yet? I'm spinning some fibre from my hackle. It was so much fun. Oh cool, what, did you make it yourself or did you buy one? I've got one in a bag somewhere that Phil built me years ago, but I hardly ever use it. You know, my blending board as well, I hardly use that neither anymore. I forgot I was going to add locks to this. Hiya Rachel. Bought it pre-loved. Right, wrong with a bit of pre-love. Yeah, if I could have figured out how to make a spinning wheel, I'd probably built one myself. So that's that done. What shall I go with? Gold linen, I think. I'm just going to spin that straight on, I think. Haven't got any. Don't really want to use white. Had a little sample of Glamorous Peacock and it's a real treat. Oh, brilliant. Oh. Yeah, it is a really pretty one. It looks similar to the one that I did last weekend, but it's not as completely different colours of berries. Oh no, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about the one that I put on the shop the other day. What did I call that? You got the Glamorous Peacock, and I've listed one on the shop the other day that's very similar with the olives and stuff on it, but it looks like it's purple, but it's not. There's a lot more berry tones in this. There's raspberry and cranberry sort of colours, as well as a hint of purple in there. So I put that on the shop the other day, but it's not the exact same. There is a difference. But that's the only thing about. That's why I always do the pictures. Right, hold on a minute. Iona, can you move? Nobody wants to see your backside underneath the table. You noticed it. Yeah, it's not the same. It's definitely different colours. That's why I like to do those pictures where I show you all the little bits, the little nests of colours on my listings. It's just to show people that the other colours that are in there, it's not always obvious what I've used until you start spinning it. Right, what have I just done with that bobbin? There it is. Finally treated myself to a lazy cake the other day, a Kromsky one, because I've got the Kromsky Fantasia, and the lazy cake sits either side of the treadle, and it's really not comfortable at all. It means now I can take them off and I can use the arch and lazy cake. Well, you go over there and lie down, stop being a menace. I can use the lazy cake now when I want to ply and stuff like that, because having these treadles either side of me, catching my feet all the time. This one's a Fantasia. Hold on a minute, I'll move you so you can have a look at it properly. And I've got another one in the house. See that? So the treadle's there, and you've got the lazy cake either side of it. But I'm forever knocking my ankles off the actual bars on it. It's flaming annoying. How did I forgot where I had this now? There we go. So yeah, this is the Kromsky Fantasia. I only use Kromsky products. I really like, partly cost effective for the cost of it, because when I was first starting out buying my equipment, I just couldn't justify paying nearly 500 quid for a spinning wheel, or between 400 and 500. So I bought, this was my very first spinning wheel, and then I've got, next time I do this, I'll get my, have you painted your wheel drive? Yeah, I've painted all of it. This one's been painted twice. Freya was originally black, and I was supposed to paint bumblebees on her and stuff like that, but ended up not doing it. But now it's painted sage and lavender, but I never got around to varnishing it, so I need to do the treadles again. But yeah, they've painted it. I always paint them because the wheel's just MDF, so it goes on straight away. And my Kromsky Prelude, that's a single treadle that's in the house now, Morgana, she's waxed in a oak lime. What paints do I use? You can use any paints. I mean, if you want to paint pictures and stuff on it, just use acrylic paints, and then it's just a matter of putting a varnish on the top of it to protect it and stop it from chipping. This one's garden paints, you know, the garden colour from B&Q, the little tester pots. That's all I used for that. And then I just usually put a clear varnish on it, but I've completely it got put to one side while she dried, and then I ended up getting other things done, and then I completely forgot to varnish it, and I've used it about 10 times since, so it needs redoing again. But yeah, you can use any paints, house paints, your wall paints, just use whatever colours you want that you like, and you can quite easily paint it. To say my other one, my Prelude in the house, the one that looks more like a medieval Saxony little spinning wheel, she's my workhorse and I use it every single day, and she's just waxed in a lime oak wax, and she's got like this antique white look about her. Yeah, I don't do plain things. I love colour, so I always have to do something that spikes my personality. I've lived a very colourful life. So I'm just going to apply this now. I'm not going to bother with any ribbons or fart about with beads on this today. I'm just going to spin it straight off to help it put my cape and my blinking lead yarn in the right place. So yeah, just anything you've got in the house, just use that to paint with. It's not a problem at all, as long as you make sure you seal it and varnish it afterwards. Or you could use a wax sealer, that would do the job. Or you can just use normal wood stains, that way. I'm trying to go on this, come back a bit. But yeah, nothing expensive, nothing posh. I ain't got the money to spend on expensive stuff. The little B&Q garden colour paints are £4 each in the shop for the little tester tubs, just so you can see what colours. But I've always got tins of paint all over the flaming place anyway. So for me to just grab a paint tin that's sat in the kitchen for me painting a wall or something like that, it's not unusual. Do you need to go in a particular direction when you're plying with commercial yarn? It depends. No, just spin as usual. If you're doing this, I've got a linen here, and you can't see where the twist is. You can't see what direction it's going in. It straightens up to a clockwise, so I apply it in the left. But I don't think it really makes any difference as long as you've got your hand spun go in the right direction. I saw a suggestion that when you spin a single for knitting, you should spin directions. What do you think? Yes. It does work. Spin anti-clockwise when you're first doing your singles, and then ply in the clockwise for plying your singles together, and that gives you a stronger twist, and it stops it loosening up when you're knitting or crocheting with it. As a general rule, it makes a difference if you don't mind, but if you've got a perfect balance on your yarn, or you're really good at getting a perfect balance on your yarn, do that. So you want to go Z first, and then as you ply, you want to go S next. But definitely there is a difference. I've tried it myself, and it definitely is a massive difference, especially if you're spinning singles. If you're spinning singles to knit with, Hilly, do it in the Z. Go the anti-clockwise and spin that direction. Once you've cold soaked and then heat soaked and felted your singles together, then you will definitely end up with a lot stronger yarn. Especially sometimes, you know what it's like when you're spinning a single and you get it all perfect, and all of a sudden it wants to go really, really skinny for no reason, and it drives you potty. Well, it'll help fuse those sections together. But I would definitely advise, if you're using your yarn not for weaving or anything like that, definitely do it in that direction, then that direction as plying. So anti-clockwise first is singles. When you want to ply them both together, go in the clockwise direction. I mean, for me, my hint is, because on the back of my bobbin, some people put X marks or something, but I don't know if you'll be able to see. Can you see those grooves in the back of my bobbin? Right, that's my back, so that always goes on that direction. So it always goes in that direction, and then when I put it down, I make sure that this face is up, so I know that I've spun it, if I remember, either in the Z or in the S. But that reminds me, if it was up that way, then I have to remember I have to spin in the same direction when I'm applying it, because it's back to front then. So if just make sure, some people, I always say to people, if they haven't got little grooves on the back of their bums, just put a little cross in it so you know which is the bit that goes at the back. Yeah, definitely try it. How do you stop it from being overspun? It's all down to your own grading. I, in my head, treadle. If I'm doing a singles, when I'm doing my singles, I probably count about 5 to 6 treadles. For me, that'll give me a decent balance, and then might end up the odd bit that's overspun. But once you've wet soaked that and set it and then whacked it, then you'll end up with a decent balance on your yarn. But overspinning, that's down to you and your technique, Rachel. It just takes practice, love. Sometimes, I mean, I still have parts that are overspun, especially when I'm doing this. I mean, wheel's still going mental and I'm trying to concentrate at the same time. But eventually it sorts itself out and will rebalance. And once it's been soaked, you know that if you have to cut the yarn for any reason, it's all fused together from felt and being washed. So it's not going to make a difference and it'll do its own little turn. But generally, I count for myself a treadle for my singles on a count of 6, and that generally gives me a decent balance. But that's my method, and I've seen other people say that as well, and that people have asked the same question, like, just count your treadles, have an idea of how far how much you've treadled, and then you know that you've spun more than enough to do it, to get a perfect balance. But then you do your S check, do your bounce check, so like you want to see that's just about perfect. So when I spin that now, that's going to completely separate out because I'm plying in the opposite direction, Rachel. So you just want, that's the balance. So you just want to check it when you're spinning it, and that'll give you an idea of how much, because that's just a loose curl. Look how much that's spinning up there. I mean, this is difference in art yarn, so it's a thick and thin. You keep your hands close to the orifice for a single. I do a long draw. I'm a long draw spinner. I don't even realise I'm doing it half the time, but that's how I spin up, is on a long draw. And I'm just trying to get this extra twist out of here now, and then start spinning again. So I'm just going to that little bit there, that knot there that I just said about. Let me just stop my wheel, and I will be able to show you now if I pull that out. It's got the slightest, but that was me overspinning. If I was to take that out a bit more and go like that, then it's got the gentlest little twist in that. That once, I mean, I don't bother about that. I'm quite happy with that for doing this, because I know that once I steam it later on, those curls will tighten up and it will spread itself all the way through the coils. If I was to do that on a single yarn, I would expect that to just be a gentle bounce in there until I felt that off. But everybody's got their own way of doing things. Everybody likes wool in a certain way. But as a general rule, you just want to count your treadles and keep an eye on it. Don't go too fast until you get your distancing right on your balance. But the balance test is pulling it off, giving it a little wiggle, and see, that's still got a bit of kink in it, but then that was still spinning then. That's still got a bit of kink in that, so I just keep putting that on there until it stops. See, it's still spinning now. Yeah, see? Are you wrapping your hand around the linen? No? It's just sitting in my hands, and I'm guiding it with my thumb and my finger, and just letting the wool sit on itself, and then I'll twist it around certain sections to tie it in place. So there's actually a cone down at my feet of linen. And then I'll just let it spin its bit, and that'll tie that section in place. See there, I've just tied that, let it wind round a couple of times. Are you wrapping your handspun around? No, the linen's wrapping itself around in certain bits just to tie that section in place. So no, technically I'm not. I'm core spinning the actual roving, so that's going on there, and I'll get my spirals. And then when I get to the end of that section there, then I'll let the linen wrap itself around to tie it in place, and then I'll go again. So to a point, I'm I'm plying with it, but it's more that it's holding this single in a straight yarn like fibre, so it can be used, and the linen will actually soften through time, as it does anyway. And then I'll tie that up again there and push that through. And if I just make sure that the wool sits just above my finger when I'm doing it, then it should end up really close together, and I shouldn't end up seeing any gaps where the linen is. And I'm not treadling too fast at all because I don't want to overspin it completely. But as I say, when I steam set this later on, that all evens itself out anyway. And do that. Spin that linen around that again, and then go again. And then I want to push that up so it gets too far down. Sometimes if you've got really skinny bits, it's really hard to push them back up again. I have a Will Maker's Bliss, like the Fantasia, and it has a magnetic flyer. I really enjoy the quick bobbin change. Yeah, this one's a magnetic flyer on the art bobbin, on the jumbo art flyer on the Kromsky. Did Yorkshire yarn work? Yeah, it didn't do too bad, Hilly. I think I ended up with 2 new customers, and I had a couple of regular customers waiting in the aisles, waiting for the new shop to go on. So I sold all my new stuff, sold a couple of older stuff, and sold a few locks and a fluff rescue. So yeah, I did quite well actually. I sold out of 7 stock listings. So yes, that's why I knew I had to take a couple of days off. I knew that I'd be really busy the rest of this week getting dyed stuff done. So behind the scenes, even though I was not being physically present, I was still doing bits and pieces, but in my own time without the pressure, you know what I mean, of knowing that, oh, it's Monday and I've got to get listings done. It's just, if I felt like doing it, then that was down to me to do it. Yes, fingers were poised, I know. So yeah, no, it was good. And I've got another one of the Yorkshire Yarn Fest the end of August, which is cool because I would have just listed my Christmas advents. So they'll be ready. They'll be going on the website. Probably about the 15th of August I'll be listing them. And the same again this year, Hilly, I'll be quite happy to take 3 payment orders, September, October, and then the last one August for if you're taking it then September, October, and then it's up to date and everything's paid. But I definitely find that helps people out a hell of a lot as well if I do the 3 payment plan, if I can't afford to do the all up one front. So I'll definitely be doing that again this year. So that'll be a good place to advertise that for some that have never known about it before. So yeah, I'll be doing that end of August, last weekend in August I think it is. So I'm quite happy about that. It wasn't too bad. I've done better ones in online auction things, but from a first experience of it, see if it's any better next time, as in like publicity wise, and she gives me mentions. She actually did contact me the other week there after me doing my survey and she apologised, saying that apparently I hadn't tagged her in anything. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So we'll see about that. I will be tagging all over again next time. But there's another one coming up. She's doing them last Saturday of every month now at the moment, these virtual markets. So yeah, otherwise it's just me now thinking of what colourways I'm going to go with for the Christmas Advent. Planning my new batty clubs that start back up in August. So like the last year, it's been months of the year. The Glasgow one was done really well. See, sometimes I wish I was still back up in Scotland. There's so many bits and pieces I miss out on. But then if I was back in Scotland, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have a spinning wheel. My life would be completely different from what it is now if I was still up there. I'd probably be working in Asda. No, I'm quite happy. I mean, to be fair, I do a lot of self-promoting, and I make sure I'm in the right place at the right time when I know things are about to become a trend or kick off with fads or whatever. So I've got my ear to the ground and I'm doing all right. At least I can turn around to Hilly and say it was all me and I never asked anybody's help. And I think that's important when you do this sort of thing, is to know that the hard work you put into it is paying off. I do sometimes wonder where I'll be in the next 10 years' time. Will I be needing a warehouse and a carting machine? It was online. Well, see, I never seen it. I'll have to next time if they do one, Hilly, let me know and tag me in it so I can, when they start asking for vendors, and then I might be able to get onto it then. I've had a couple of people say to me I should teach, but I mean, I've got a teaching thingy listing on my website, but I've never had any inquiries about it. I always thought it'd be cool if I could do it, especially in the summer months, and do an afternoon tea out in the garden and get my spinning wheels out and just do one-to-one teaching. You're alright, love. He's building me a new bed box for it in here. He did me a nice herb one the other day. I'll put pictures up later on. So I'm getting another one just to sit underneath my whirligig. Which meant that obviously I had to go and buy new plants today, just to make sure I had enough to fill it.
Cool.
So if you, for that glamorous peacock, and you were saying you're going to spin it up into singles, Hilly, have you got a pattern in mind for it, or something you want to create yourself? Because I know a lot of people create their own patterns. I wouldn't know where to plain start.
You stay there. Stay in, Mum.
Some nice shiny bits coming out now. Glitter in this as well. Probably sure, but not any suggestions for crochet patterns. I actually have a couple of patterns in my stitch organizer app. I'll have a look and I'll send them over to you and see what you think. There might be a couple there that you might fancy. Do you knit at all? That's something I've not tried, apart from my big sail shawl, because it was in plain knit or stocking stitch, which is perfect. I've not attempted to do any type of pattern work in knitting yet. I don't think I've got the confidence to go that far yet. I'd like to, but I think I need somebody to show me. But then again, it's YouTube. If it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't be knitting now, to be fair. But yeah, there is a couple of designers I quite like the look of, and I'm absolutely positive I have got some patterns stashed away for crocheted shawls or triangular scarves. Experiment with crochet. Trying to think, there is, I would say YouTube's a really good resource for where I get my patterns from. And just copy and just sit there at night time and watch a little bit of a video, and before I know what it's done, my brain doesn't work like everybody else's. I find it really hard to read patterns. I really do struggle. It's like trigonometry for me. I really find it hard trying to concentrate reading a pattern. I would rather watch somebody do it and I'm like, all right, I know what you're doing, and I'm off. Why? This has been right pain in the bum. I need to change my Scotch tension. I bought a new one the other day, new bit from a wheel. But yeah, so knitting, I'm getting there. I'm not going to push myself on it. I'm just going to stick to my stocking stitch and pattern work. I'm quite happy to do that at this moment in time. But I will be looking for the crochet shawl pattern for when I do my Tour de Fleece. I'm going to spin up singles, and I want to do a nice summery shawl like the pattern, the colour theme that I'm doing for it. So if anybody wants to order the colour theme for the Tour de Fleece from me, it ends, I think, is it 10 days time. So I will be closing it on the 12th. I can't take any exceptions because the bats all need to be made up. So yeah, I'm still doing that. And if you order one from me, I will give you a discount code for Sarah at U Tree Yarns to order her colour theory on the poster that we were doing. But I'll do a picture post. I'll put a post up during the week of the poster and the rovings I've already dyed up. Some better written than others. I can't cope with rovings. I won't. No, they're absolutely useless. I don't know what it is about the way that they write things. Maybe it's they use American terminology. Maybe that's what it is. I do have an American pattern for that lovely Norse jumper I was doing, but I do find myself having to go and type in certain wordings in YouTube to figure out, or even on Google search to figure out what it is I'm supposed to be doing, which is a right pain when you're learning and you've got nobody to sort of say, oh, what does this mean? It's not helpful. I can't remember pattern people, designers off the top of my head. If I had my iPad here, I'd be able to tell you. Oh, it's turned out really, really pretty. It's like marigolds, you know those rusty reds and the marigolds, and then the bright yellows. just like that. I had a red squirrel run through my garden the other day. Me and the dog were sat up at the back of the back garden. I was just minding my own business on Monday, and all of a sudden this thing scampered past us and ran through the back gate. And I thought it was a rat at first. It wasn't. It was actually a red squirrel. Never seen a red squirrel around here before, which is proper cool. Yeah, she did chase that. It was the dog excited when she saw the squirrel. She did chase it, but it was just dead weird because it must have thought there was no one in the garden. It's come out from the coppice at the back. It's come by Phil's shed door, and we were sat at my potting shed on the orange chairs. And all of a sudden, if it hadn't scrambled, I'd have never known. If it had done its little tippy toe through the garden, I'd have never known it was a flaming squirrel in the garden. But yeah, the dog's like, oh, what's that? She did chase it to the gate and then stopped. Poor little squirrel. Must have had a right old fright when I realised it was inhabited by humans. Seem to get more things in my back garden now than I did on beforehand, because I think it's to do with the fact that we've got the birds out the back now. You know, we've got the hens and the ducks. So I do sometimes think that that's what it's to do with it. I've got a blinking wood pigeon that's quite happy to just sit on my my big 10-foot long raised veggie bedding and just watches the hens and the ducks in their run, as if to say, oh, you poor dears, you're all trapped up there, you need freedom. No, they don't need freedom, because Kate's still figuring out how to get out of that blinking run. So it was great having a couple of days away from just doing all my shop stuff. I got loads done, got new bedding put in, I got my new stepping stones put in place, planted out my root bound lilacs, so when you walk through the back gate now, go over my little step stones, past the lilacs, and in the evening the lilacs smell absolutely amazing, so nice. Now I've got a honeysuckle that grows up my arch, and this is the second year that it's growing, and I still haven't had any flowers off it. Had any eggs? Oh, I get loads of eggs. We've got 2 chickens now and 2 ducks, and I get eggs off them every single day. I mean, I get so many so many eggs that I actually have to give them away. I probably need to do an honesty box and just leave them there for people to come and take what they want. Honestly, get loads of them. At the moment, Fleur's gone broody again, so I think I'm going to have to call the guy that we got the ducks from and see if he's got any duck eggs that I can buy from him that have been fertilised, and maybe if I let her lay on the eggs, because the my ducks are Indian runners. Though they're good at being broody, they're not the maternal kind. So, they're not the maternal type of bird. So once the ducklings have hatched, they'll leave them be, but they're quite happy to sit there on the eggs all the time. But generally they're not very mothering. maternal, whereas my hens are really maternal in that sense. They will go really broody, and my breed of they're Black Orpington Bamptons, so they only have little eggs, and they are known for being really good mothers. So I thought, well, if I got some fertilised eggs, duck eggs, and even if I only got half a dozen, then the chances are I might get maybe 2-3 hatch out of it, and then the Bamptons will take over. So yeah, definitely I want some more. I don't want to pay 25 quid for a full grown duck again. I think that's too expensive. But then again, oh, that's done now. That looks really nice. I'll just loosen up this. Right. So yeah, I have eggs every day. Eggs for breakfast, give the duck eggs away. I think I've got about a dozen duck eggs in the fridge at the moment. So I do give them away to neighbours, but they've got to be on my right side before they get any. But yeah, so you want to have a quick look before I go at what I've done in my garden? You fancy having a little wander? Oh, just take you off the stand and I will turn the camera around. So Phil's going to build me just here, and down there is the old drain, because that used to be the outdoor toilet. So it's my coal shed now. So there's a drain just there, so I want a raised box in here, and then I'll put these plant pots inside there. I don't know if you can see this in here. So then I've got my hosta bed. So that's full of my hostas and some wildflowers in there as well. My geums, I'm absolutely in love with geums. I've probably got about 7 species of them at the moment. So I've got some pestamons growing in there as well, because they're quite happy to not have full sunshine. This bit gets the sunshine after tea. And then Phil made me this the other day. This is my kitchen herb box. And that is my pink flamingo. So we've got that. So I put that in yesterday. So I've got all my herbs in there, and there's another geum. Look, I'm absolutely fascinated with geums. And that's a pink flamingo. It's actually a salix, or a species of Kilmarnock willow, and it gets pink flowers on it. It used to be out in the garden, but it got completely scorched. I mean, look at that. It was a pom-pom, like a lollipop head on it, but it got completely scorched. So I've trimmed it back and dug her up yesterday and brought her in the garden. And that'll be her now, proper protected. And then I've got a winter clematis down there. What else have we got? I put my raised boxes up there with my alpines in and some bedding flowers. I'm obsessed with alpines. I love hostas. My favourite plant of all is my clematis. I've probably got about 20 species of clematis in the garden. My apricot tree. I just bought them today. Look at them. They're like a grey coloured minty green. They're a bit like my Josephine. My Josephine's this really weird colour as well. And some more poppies and some more alpines. And I'll take you out to see the ducks. So when I walk in the garden now, see, you like my sign? Go on, dogger. So when I come in this way, I've created this, so it comes along from this bit here, but I need to extend this bedding. It's my next project. There's my Josephine. Look at that. See the colour on it changes, so it's like this greeny colour, and as the petals open up it goes this bright pink, and underneath it's a greeny colour. That's why I did that Josephine bats and locks the other day, because it's like grey mint. These are black white delphiniums with black spots inside them. My lilacs, my dragonfly. So I got that for my birthday. Some more alpines and my foxgloves, some more delphiniums. There's my pond down there. There's another geum. Told you, I'm absolutely obsessed with geums. And then I've got some sea thistles down there and some shrubs I've just put in. That's my cherry tree. See if I actually get any cherries off it this year, because the blinking blackbirds get it. What else have I got? I had tulips in here, but they're all going now. That's my green gage, or a green plum tree. I've got delphinium coming back up there, and Quaker grass, and Bascums. I've got bulbs coming up and grasses, and then I've got my irises are just starting to open up and flower now. I'm waiting to see if I get any newts in this pond. So I dug that one out last year and look at it already, just full. And then my creeping jennies. That's all the veggies I couldn't find last year have all gone to seed. Even potatoes are cropped up. And I've got Chardonnay white grape there. And that is my black lace elderberry tree. So she's just starting to settle in the ground. It's taken her 2 years to get back to that. And there's a Granny Smith tree. And this was all the way up to there. So I extended this bedding the other day, and I'm going to bring the bark right round the side of my potting shed so it all joins together, and eventually I'll make the pathway skinny. So I've got verbascums in there, there's my alliums, and that's a honeyberry, and then I've got another blueberry over there, and then I've got my hollyhocks and my honeysuckle. Feels veggies that you can just chomp on whenever it feels like it. This is a bit of an embarrassment round here, I've not completely done it yet, but I've got my asparagus, that's my asparagus beds, so they'll take a couple of years. And there's the ducks. Excuse the state of the pond, we need to empty it and get that sorted out today, put some clean water in for them. This is the wild part of the garden. So where that composting bin is, there's actually a dike down the back of there, so we're going to build a bridge across and create a secret garden. There's Willow with her sun umbrella. And who is that? That's Kate. They've just had the dinner. Surrounded me rhubarb. Oh, and then I've got another blueberry, a cherry plum tree, more water for the birds, hazelnut tree. Look, I'm getting flowers off of it. I only put this in the ground. When was that? February, March? Spindlewood tree. It's actually a hardwood. And then as all my wildflowers growing. And I've got, now I don't know if anybody's ever had red flowers or flaming strawberries before, but I've never seen red flowers on a strawberry before. And I actually have strawberry plants with red flowers. That's coming on well. That is a Cox's pippin, and there's another clematis. There's another one. Told you, I'm absolutely obsessed. That's a Montana. And then I've got another one here. This one has little yellow. Oh, a minute, get the sunshine. This one has little yellow, like elfin cap flowers on it. So that's another species of a. Hello.
Hello.
There's Mr. Phil. Look, even more GMs. There's another one. Mrs. Cocky, she's called. More. Yeah, and I've got the rosemary there. No, it's not. Yeah, that's rosemary. Sweet peas. That's really pretty. Well, come out. There is another. Hold a minute. Can you see that? That's another GM. It's called Lady Stranraer. And then my foxgloves, all starting to come up now. And then my bay tree and my fig tree is just starting to open up. And there is another clematis hiding down there in the corner. And that's another clematis, but she did have flowers, but they've all come off now. But that was blue flowers on her. So yeah, that's the sum of my garden at the moment. There's always something needs to be done. Oh, we've got the Triffid as well. That is an Angelica. It's absolutely humongous. I mean, that's easily, nearly 7 foot tall. So yeah, you stay there with your dad. I'll come out and get you in a minute. So yeah, that's it. So the front garden is absolute eyesore. I do need to get it sorted. I've got to get some more membrane and cover it over for a year. But that the front garden is going to be specimens of ground covering alpines and heathers and stuff, because we're right on the sea. Anything at that front gets completely battered. So that's me. So thank you very much, Hilly, for joining me today, sweetie. A little tour around my garden, showing that I have actually been working. Yes, I have been working. Look at the state of my room. Look at the state of that. I really need to gut out my room. But apparently it's a sign of a hard worker if your room's a mess, because you just can't find the spaces to put anything. So there we go. So I'll put this on my Instagram. Hiya, New Forest. I'll put this. So I'll stick this on Instagram TV, and I'll probably post this to my YouTube. And I will be doing back preparation video tomorrow, Monday morning at the latest, and get it uploaded on Monday. See you later. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Bye.